My name is Myriah McReynolds. Yeah.
Okay. So Myriah has a few questions for you all. We're just going to dialogue. We're going to have fun. So you can start whenever you want.
Okay. So first question: what has shaped your idea of love and relationships?
This is number 2. I would say experience. Just love. You gotta try it out, and you may succeed, you may fail, but just growing up and experiencing different relationships with different people. That sounds weird.
Got it.
You trying to elaborate on that question? I like you trying to say it again.
So the question was, what has shaped your idea of love and relationships? So where has your perception or idea of love and ideologies of love come from?
All right, this is number 3. I hope I'm answering this right. I feel like seeing my parents, and seeing how they are, they always show like a pretty good example to me, like what love is should be. They always got each other's back, always try to work things out. I look up to them like really a lot, and from my own experiences, got some ups and downs. But I've been trying to learn. Yeah, that's the best I could do, especially learn from my parents, especially.
This is number 1. I'm gonna say kind of the same thing that number 3 said. I don't have any experience like both of them said, but like all I know is from both of my parents. I see an example on how my dad treats my mom, and I just know that's real love. So yeah.
I like that. So next question: what value do you find in relationships?
That's some good questions.
Yeah, some heavy questions.
Good old questions.
Hey, man. This is number 3 again. I believe it just, it creates a bond that can't be matched. It can't be like, like fake. It's authentic. I believe it just creates a friendship and, love, love, actually like connection and all in one. Especially when it comes to when you get older and become parents, because that's the goal. And even when y'all go through like trials and tribulations, the value is put out even more, like built up even more, because when you make it pass through those problems together, that's what brings y'all closer. Of course, the good times will be easy, So, I mean, it's value, like it's priceless.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Anybody else?
I'm still thinking.
All right, number 2 here. I think the biggest value is kind of what he's saying. Overcoming. The good times I think are important as well, but definitely someone who is there with you through your lowest is what we're all looking for. And I think that's what real love is. Love you in your highs and your lows. Love you for your faults, all your imperfections. That's what real love is. So that's the value I would put on relationships. And I will tab that communication comes from that, because you can't communicate with, you can't love someone if they don't know how you feel.
Okay, this is number 1, by the way. Same what number 2 said about the communication. But one thing I know is if you don't have comprehension, you don't understand, and it's no point. But like number 1 said about the friendship and all that, you see the highs and the lows. That's very. Oh, I mean number 3. Number 3. But yeah, like number 3 was saying, like the highs and the lows. That's very important. You don't want to overlook that. So yeah.
Got it. So I think number 1 and 2, you all talked about communication. So if you felt like your partner had a bad habit, how would you go about communicating that or addressing that issue with your partner?
That's easy for me. Number 2 here. I feel like I'm not unforgiving, but like if you're not trying, why am I trying?
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about it. So it's different if you're unable to communicate, then we can try. But the fact that if I'm putting in all the effort and I'm getting nothing back, that's exhausting.
Exactly. Number 1 here. I'm gonna say. My bad. What was the question?
So you both talked about communication. If your partner had a bad habit, how would you go about addressing that or communicating that habit that you didn't like, or a pet peeve?
Okay, yeah, same thing. Like number 2 was talking about we gonna talk about it, but if you're not trying, then that's kind of like a red flag. You know what I'm saying? You just have to like really try. So yeah.
Okay.
Everything he said was kind of perfect. He was like, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question: what toxic trait do you have?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh Lord, self-reflection. Ooh.
I'm a
That's hard.
She came with it, Jay.
toxic trait.
This is number 2. I'm gonna go back to my last response. You know, when I get upset, I tend to just dead it, end it, cut it out. It's done. I'm done with it. So me trying not to be, or me being unforgiving, I think is my toxic trait. But we growing out of that. Let's say that.
Yeah, give me a second.
They just perfect. That's what that means.
No, I don't like that.
It's something there.
I'm not. I know. It's,
So while they think number 2, with that being an issue, what is your plan to kind of work on that?
Listening and understanding. I think when I was younger, like when I was a teenager, I wasn't very empathetic. I didn't have empathy for other people, which sounds terrible, but that's how I was as a teenager. So me growing older and relating to people more, and not only kind of accepting my feelings, but there are other people's feelings as well. That's kind of been my journey the past couple of years.
Gotcha.
all right, this is number 3. I think I got what I need. I've still been working on it. It's funny, like how they mentioned this communication. I'm the one who didn't mention it. I didn't too. I know there's things that might bother me, or I might try to like hold it in, and like that can become toxic because it can be something built up in you, and it could like turn into an emotion or action. I'm not abusive. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like it can turn to something bad. But I know like me personally, I always try to like swallow things, or like try to you know, or if I like, you know, wanted to do something and I wouldn't say it, and I would just always like, you know, let them either walk over me or get the best of me or something, like just stuff like that. I need to communicate and be like, hey, I don't really like that, or no, I feel this way. I used to not do that. I'm working on it. I believe I've gotten better, but yeah, I won't say everything that I probably should say sometimes. But like I said, I've gotten better, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Yeah. Number 1 here, and I'm gonna say from like past like friendships, I think my toxic trait is kind of like, you know, not being able to trust, honestly. So yeah.
That's a big one. So next question: what attributes do you look for when pursuing a woman, and what are your reasonings for pursuing the woman you did in the past?
Sorry, number 2. I think in the past, attributes were all physical. I never really was looking for someone to be with for long. That sounds bad. That's how it was. So now, you know, as I'm growing older and I would like to think wiser, someone to spend the rest of my life with. I'm not with the let's date a year or 2. It's like let's date and see if we can have a future together. Not like let's just date for the now. I'm not into that. I don't like wasting time.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag on that number 3. You know, of course, like how he said, I always want to date to marry. I don't care what age it is. I know a lot of people be like, you gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just, you know, I don't, you know, to this point, just be dating. It kind of, you know, I know people like to say either a lesson or a blessing, but like, you know, most of the time, I would take the time before I actually, you know, make it official to try and, you know, like actually get to know you and actually like, you know, see if it will work. And I want to go in for the long run, like he said. But the attributes, you know, I used to do the same thing. I used to wild out, just look at physical attributes. But I mean, I looking for a girl that's, you know, not just sitting around, you know, actually, you know, independent really. I love this independence out here, you know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. But I'm just saying, like, if you got goals and you know, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you want to have fun, you got families, whatever, just not like, you know, out here like wild and just sitting around a gold day and nothing, you know, I ain't, you know, do what you do. You know, I ain't judging nobody, but I'm just saying that's the type of girl. I want a girl that, you know, wifey and mama material, you know what I mean? You gonna be the wife of my mom. You gonna be the mother of my children. I'm about to say the wife of my children. The mother.
Yeah, number one here. Number two and number three, literally, yeah, like they said, it was great. I think when we was younger, honestly, it's like the physical was like very important when we was younger for some reason because we wasn't like really wise. But now we got older and we see like, you know, mindset, we see what you really like need in life, and that's very important. So, you know, the attributes now, when we look at a female, of course it's like who she is, if she knows like her own self, you know what I'm saying? If she loves herself, then that's very important. So yeah, that's what I think. So I just look, how I look now, I just look if you like really know yourself, if you like really, you got your goals straight, and if you just basically just independent, like he said, number three.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
That's good.
And plus, one other thing, number three, if mama don't like you, I can't like you. I'm sorry. Mama gotta like you.
Hey, mamas know best though.
Don't like you.
So mama's a deal breaker. So I guess next question, do you feel like there's a double standard when it comes to men and women in relationships?
I think that, number two, definitely. I think there's double standards with men and women, not only in relationships. I think the main goal of a relationship is making sure you two are straight, or making sure your other is straight. So it's not about how you do it or who does it. I think that's, as long as that goal is met, that's all that's needed.
Why do you all feel like that is?
Number one, I'm gonna just give you a short end. Society, you can say that.
Yeah.
Honestly, the media, all that.
Yeah, built up over time. It's probably gotten stronger because of media. But I mean, it's just another thing too. Like I mean, it's just like, you know, I'm just say it straight how it is. How I think. I mean, I feel like, you know, with us being men and always chasing, you know, the girl, like that's how it's like kind of supposed to be, I suppose. I guess girls know that they like, you know, especially when they got the confidence and, you know, got like, you know, the looks and all this and, you know, the characteristics, they know that they can, you know, kind of get away with stuff. Like, I'm not, you know, bashing y'all, I'm just saying like they know they got some type of like power or spell over it. So like, you know, when the man's like trying to, you know, get them or like do something, you know, they can get away with some stuff because, you know, like, you know, she's bad, you know, I can just, you know, she can get away, you know, I'll deal with this, the attitude, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if we had an attitude, it's just like, you know, it could look like, oh, that might be abuse or this might be that, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of deep. I don't know. Yeah, that's my answer, though. That's specific.
Yeah, that was.
Got it. So I guess I'll just go on to the next one. What are your thoughts on gender norms in the home and relationships? Do you feel like a woman is ill prepared for marriage if she doesn't know how to cook or do housework?
Number two here, I'm one of those guys that I love to eat, so I know how to cook for myself. That is just fine. As far as gender norms, I don't think there's anything. I think my thoughts are contradicting each other right now, but I feel like what I would want is to take care of my wife and make sure she is good, whether that is, you know, not that that's the main goal, but if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, give her that option. But if she don't, that's fine by me. Love makes her happy. But I think as far as gender norms, like I'm really into kids, so if that's never mind. But I'm really into kids, and just because, you know, the woman bears the child does not mean I think the woman should take care of it the rest of their life. Especially, you know, if you have a son, I have to teach them how to be a man. So that is one gender norm, I guess. I will go with that. I'm saying this from personal experience. I don't think a mother can teach a son how to be a man. And I don't think a father can teach a daughter how to be a woman.
That's good.
Yeah, like how he said, number three, it's, you definitely, like with a parent, you definitely need both sides, because I feel like I've seen in the years that I've been on this earth, like problems that reoccur within, like, you know, certain people like my age or younger or around my age. It always seems like it does go back. I say this a lot to like the parents and stuff, and like, you know, sometimes they can, you know, of course they can't control that, but I mean, that's why I'm blessed and thankful for my parents and stuff. But Yeah, I mean, I don't believe, back to the question, I don't believe, like, you know, just because she don't know how to cook or don't know how to do this, I mean, that doesn't mean that, it's all, you know, relationships about growth. That doesn't mean, like, you're not ready. It's about growth. So if you, as long as you are willing to try, and, you know, and I mean, that doesn't mean she has to cook, but I mean, of course, you know, there's probably gonna be a night where she's gonna have to do, I might be gone, like, working late or something, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, you know, we always, you know, from where you are, from, like, one, I forgot who said it, it was like, if you're thinking the same, you were thinking like 40, that you were like 20, then you wasted 20 years of your life. Like, you know, it's all about, like, you know, growth and just actually learning. And, you know, especially the bond together, that gets stronger when you do stuff like that too. So, I mean, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, what they said.
Okay, so I like those answers. I'll go to the next. Do you believe there's value in waiting till marriage for sex? And do you believe the number of previous sexual partners matter when it comes to you selecting your female to marry?
I feel like this is number 3. I'm gonna be honest. It probably does give it way more value because you've never been touched. It's just, that's just, I mean, at the end of the day, that's like, I mean, it's like a pair of sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead. So if I get a new pair of sneakers, like, shoot, they new. Like, they're more value and everything. But like, if some people been wearing them and they kind of worn down, I mean, like, it's still a shoe, like, still Jordan. I'll still take them. But like, you know, it does, you know, bring down value. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, that's not me. I'm just saying that's just, you know, factual wise. But how many, like, you know, people you've done stuff with? I mean, as long as you clean, you know. I had to say that. I mean, hey, I had to throw it out there. I'm just saying, like, as long as you know, like, it ain't nothing crazy going on. I mean, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna be bashing on you in your past, but we living life, man. You live and you learn, man. You having fun. But if you know, if you ready to commit, you find you one, like Jimmy Fox said, you changed me, baby. You know, think you found the one, man. You know, go ahead. You know, get down. I don't judge, man. You know, baggage, it don't matter. Come in with it. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, that made me forget the question now.
You want me to read it again?
Yes, please.
Do you believe there's value in waiting till marriage for sex? And do the number of previous sexual partners matter to you?
This is number 2. So tackle the first question, the last question first. I think, I don't think it's major. I would want to know, but that's not going to judge. I don't think I'm going to judge anyone off of it. Because, I mean, we all have a past. I mean, someone can be a virgin and be a terrible person.
True.
So, but then as far as waiting for sex, waiting for marriage before sex, I think growing up, I think that was that's important. But I feel like whatever is made comfortable between the union is what's best. Because I mean, there's people who you know, I am religious. We'll leave it at that. So I want to go by those beliefs. But you know, when you're young, it's hard. And they say it gets harder as you get older. So, yeah. So I guess that's my answer.
So I'll go to the next question. If you are a believer, do you believe your spouse needs to be a believer as well?
Number 2, yes.
Yeah, number 3, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard, like, it just is to not. Yeah, because y'all gonna be on different motives and different pages.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't know. That's where communication and the talking stage come in.
Number 1 for sure.
Number 2, I want to take my answer back kind of and emphasize it. But not to be short, but it is true. My spirituality is important to me, and I want that in my wife to carry that on with my children as well. But that is something, I mean, just because you're not saying I can convert anyone I want to, but just because you're not a believer now does not mean that we can't grow together like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. That's good. So last question. What does a woman submitting to you look like, and do you believe you are worth submitting to?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'll just start with the first question. What do you believe a woman submitting to you looks like?
I mean, okay, I think I got an answer. effort, attention. You know, I think I'll say that because, like, you know, a lot of girls, they can lead you on. You know, I've been down that road a lot. You know, it's you know, heartbreak is a familiar role for a lot of my kings out here. But if they really genuinely showing effort, genuinely trying to give you time, trying to see you actually talk things out, I feel like that's where they're like, you know, I'm gonna give this a try. And the trust, that doesn't like become a decision. It just becomes like effortless. Like it just comes naturally at that point if they're doing that. So yeah, I believe, you know, time and effort. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Number one here.
That was number 3, by the way.
Oh.
Okay.
Number one here. I'm gonna elaborate on what 3 said about that effort, of course, and being consistent. That's really key. So I think if you just like really keep on bringing the effort, then yeah, that's a plus. Yeah.
Number 2 here, I'm gonna also agree with the consistency, because I mean, people can. It's not even just, you know, in like personal relationships, and being friendships too. Even in familiar, in families, you know, you're supposed to, especially in a marriage, you're supposed to love someone always. You loving me on Monday, getting mad at me on Wednesday, we not talking on Friday. So I think, you know, being willing to be vulnerable, because I think really when anger is introduced into a relationship, it needs to be resolved. Can't just hold on to it. But I think to answer your question, what it looks like for a woman submitting to me is consistency and love, but then also going back to that communication piece.
Gotcha.
That's good.
So as the head of your house, what do you feel like leading a woman looks like?
Waking up, putting the crown on. No, I'm playing. Nah. Number 3, I would just say, you know, it's kind of obvious, like the actual physical type of thing. I'm gonna say first, you know, making sure you protect the house, you know, protect the wife, protect the kids, you know, loving them unconditionally, being an example not only to your kids. I mean, I know I keep saying kids, but you know, if you have any kids and also your wife, like, you know, sometimes that might mean like, you know, being the bigger person, or like, you know, maybe biting some bullets, or like trying to actually consider their ideas and consider doing what they think and stuff, and like, you know, y'all learn, like, it goes back to, you know, learning and stuff. But yeah, I mean, just you know, being genuine, you know, and hearing her out and being there for her, and genuinely showing like your love and your appreciation, not just on Valentine's Day, you know, and stuff like that. Just being a real man, the man that she fell in love with. You know, just being you, really. Yeah,
just being you. Yep. Number 1 here, I'm gonna say being a leader. My bad. Being a leader, not just being a leader, you know, for the kids, but for your wife as well. You know, she has to look up to you, I think, and just come up to you whenever she wants and be comfortable of coming up to you. So literally, what number 3 was saying was like perfect. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Gotcha. Number 2.
Number 2, I would say always reminding her of what y'all fell in love with. But as far as leading a woman, I think just leading in general, you need to make sure that you guys have goals, whether that is in the relationship or just personal goals. And leading someone through that, you need to keep reminding them of their goals and pushing them. Because I think the core of the relationship is the accountability between each other, whether that's within the relationship or within their personal goals. So I think just pushing to always be better in all aspects. Because Christian about to jump out of me. I'm not going to quote the verses. But, you know, just always trying to be better. Always trying to be better.
Gotcha. So where you are currently in life, do you feel like you are a man worth submitting to? Like, do you feel like you can, where you are now, do you feel like you can effectively lead a woman in a family?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. This is number 3. I'm gonna just say no because, simply because, I mean, actual things like my schedule, I know, like, I'm not in the best position to, like, you know, start anything like that, like, especially, like, on serious note, but, like, on a real note, I know there's still a lot for me to learn. You young. That comes with maturity. Not saying I'm mature, but like still, like, you know, it takes a lot when you know, I've always heard about, like, you know, when you look into your wife's eyes, or like when you look into your seed's eyes, like it just brings another side out of you, it changes you. So I mean, I just, you know, I know that's a big commitment and something I know for a fact that I want to be every part of, like my kids' life, and be there for my wife. I just know I can't get that all right now. I'm trying to get myself straight, and I'm hoping whoever my wife is, she get herself straight, and we come together, we gonna create the stars in the sky. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Number 2 here, I would say definitely, I kind of want to come back to the question, because I feel like no one's ever ready to be fully committed to someone else, but it happens, you grow into it. So I think right now, would I be willing to? Yes. Do I think I'm perfect right now? No, no one is. But I definitely think I'm in a spot to grow, to be what is expected of me.
Number 1 here, I'm gonna say no. Yeah, just straight up no.
I dig the honesty.
Yeah.
And self-awareness. So that's all the questions we have.
Okay, so out of these 3 guys and their answers, which one do you think you could see yourself with?
Definitely number 2.
Number 2? Okay. All right. Let's go meet the guys. Here to crown the king.
Yes, my God, the crown. With the cash prize. Great, how are you?
Good.
That's all. Tay, this been the
How you doing?
DJ.
My bad for the answer.
My bad. Y'all had me cracking up the entire time. I knew he was going with, so I had to make a laugh. That was the only chance I had. I gotta make a laugh somehow. I knew Ben's a man, bro. He's a man. Like that, yeah.
That was good.
I wish y'all could answer them questions.